Hello, Philadelphia! I'm Bruce Buffer. It's time for the Anthony Gargano Show!
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. It's a beautiful morning outside across the Delaware Valley. This is the Anthony Gargano Show, presented by TrueMark Financial Credit Union, TrueMark.com/PHLY for the credit union difference. All right, so it's amazing how one play has completely polarized the league, has completely, it's amazing that this one play has brought on hypocrisy from Roger Goodell. It has drawn sides. We have our own persecution complex. I think it's warranted. I've never seen a situation in a league, right? A professional sports league where one play has held everybody hostage and one team is being unfairly persecuted because they have mastered the play. The Eagles have mastered the Tush Push, all right? And now the league is in a frenzy trying to get rid of it. So I was talking to a lot of people yesterday, and here's what it comes down to. They tabled it just so the commissioner can get the necessary votes to ban it. I think the commissioner wants to ban it. I think the commissioner, Roger Goodell, wants to ban it because I think he thinks it's unsightly, that it's an uninteresting play, that and it takes away from the drama of 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. And I think that's his motive. I think there's others in the league that want to ban it because they're jealous of the Eagles. Like, I believe that that's true. They're throwing all the injury thing out there because the injury thing is you can't argue against the injury thing. Even though there's no data against it, you can't argue against injury. Well, it's player safety. Like, the minute you say that, you're an ogre. If you go, well, the data says that there's no injury. Well, it's limited data. Look at the play. You're putting players in peril. And by just mentioning players in peril, what happens? It shuts you up. Because are you an animal that you're not for player safety? Are you a hooligan? I mean, that's basically the straw argument. That, well, this is going to happen. Somebody's going to get hurt. We're just going to get out in front of it. That's the argument. In reality, I really think that the commissioner doesn't care about the Eagles one way or another. The commissioner, though, goes, this isn't good for the sport. This play isn't good for the beauty of the sport, for the interest of the sport, for the drama of the sport. I think that's his motive. And I think they tabled this thing to May when the owners meet again in Minnesota just so they can get enough votes to ban it. And I think they'll wind up banning it. Think about this for a second. You're going to go player safety, right, as the excuse, when you're now trying to promote more kick returns. And we know that the kick returns are obviously collisions. So you're promoting, one of the reasons why they have this kickoff is because they wanted to do away with the concussions and the impact. Well, now you're going to promote, because you're going to put the ball at the 35, you're trying to promote more returns. So that's another play of risk and a return where there's risk. So is that player safety? That doesn't sound like it's for player safety. Otherwise, you start the game at the 25 and do away with the kickoff period. But I think there's optics involved. I think there's a lot of stuff that's there. I think the optics are a big part of it. And I think that's the biggest issue that we see right now, is that the commissioner is against it. That's kind of word on the street, that he wants it out. Now, again, these other teams are, Packers, Bills, which I still don't even understand Sean McDermott. I don't get it. I don't understand why Sean is so vehemently against it. Somebody's going. They run it. It's weird. It's weird. If you look at it objectively, all right, I get that there could be, because everybody's low and because of the nature of it, I guess the pile up, there could be injury concerns down the line. I don't know, I guess. But I think it has to do with way more optic, and it's not a pretty play. I've heard that from a lot of the critics, a lot of the pundits who want it banned. Oh, it's a rugby play. Well, A, it's not a rugby play, all right? And we've discussed this time and time again. How many times do we see a ball carrier in space get slowed up, and then the O-line comes, and then the defenders come, and there's one big amoeba of flesh that moves the pile? We see it all the time. Tight ends, running backs, like you see it. And this is the same thing, except it happens at the line of scrimmage. Good morning, VG.
Good morning, cuz. Sad day. This is the end of the Tush Push.
You feel it, don't you?
It's classic playbook. You see it in politicians all the time when they try and pass a budget. They're like, oh, we got to wait. We got to get a few more votes. They push it off a week. Yep. I mean, you got
it's going to go away.
Dude, this is Goodell's quote. I think it makes a lot of sense in many ways because, well, he wants to ban pushing and pulling. It expands beyond that single play. There are a lot of plays where you see people pushing or pulling somebody that are not in the tush push formation that I do think have an increased risk of injury. So the committee will look at that and come back in May.
And that'll be it. And no more, they won't
pushing
allow
and pulling at all.
No.
And that way it's not personal. It's not you Eagles. It's not this play. It's not an unfair competitive advantage. It's for the safety of everybody. And there's no data. There may be. I don't trust the NFL. There will be a study between now and May. I'm pretty sure that'll say there's a high risk of injury in pushing and pulling players.
Oh, without a doubt. VG, you're so spot on that this is out of the playbook.
Yeah. They see Mitch McConnell do it or Schumer. They do it all the time.
Like the minute, it's funny, the minute they said to table it, I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's lobby time.
And then somebody said that this is not a win. I guess it was Az said it wasn't a win yesterday. And you knew it wasn't a win. But I think the root of this thing from the commissioner is I don't think he thinks it's an exciting play.
It could be. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that. There's been enough complaining about the optics of it. And, the rugby plays are stupid at this point, saying it's a rugby play. Yeah, it works. I don't know why it helps offense. It helps keep the Eagles on the field and rack up points. Why would he be against it?
I know. It's terrible. I got to tell you, it's a shame that was it's unfair is what it is because, it's like the torpedo bats. The torpedo bats, like, all right, this is the scope of the bat. You're not doing anything to the bat other than moving the barrel, which isn't against the rule. So if you could swing it with the meat being a little bit lower off of the label, then so be it. But what's wrong with this play?
It's that no one else can do it. It's an unfair advantage for the Eagles right now. I mean, they're going to say pushing and pulling a high risk of injury. They got rid of the pulling and pushing rule in 2004. That's 21 years. They haven't been concerned about player safety or pushing and pulling until the Eagles start doing this play.
Exactly.
Get out of here.
Nobody talked about the play that I described.
No.
The play.
No one's ever said there's a high risk of injury. Someone's going to get hurt.
People love that play. When they get pushed into the end zone. Oh!
Like you're going to big boys pushing them in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People love it.
Yeah.
They love that stuff.
No one's ever. I've never heard one commenter say, "Oh, this looks a little dangerous the way they're pushing people in here."
And by the way, I'm not. Sometimes I can skew meathead. Like I get it, right? I don't think it is football. By the way, right? Like I'm not saying you got to be. It's not flag football. It's football. Like there's a degree of physicality in the sport.
I mean, the point that you bring up, because I did some research on stats of injury. Clearly, the top injuries happen at punt returns and kickoffs. They're not banning them. They're, like you said, they're encouraging kick returns. They're not banning punt returns at all. There's just no. It's all the high risk injuries are from high rate of speed collisions, not a 1 yard push.
Right.
Like, come on.
Well, that's always been the thing where when you're in close, that's why a lot of the linemen, like when you think about the CTE, running backs and linebackers, because there's more space and collisions, violent collisions,
yes,
as opposed to bagging up in front, at the line of scrimmage in close quarters.
And let me say this: I have a little bit of experience with this. I've had a broken neck, a C2 fracture. It can't get much worse. C1 is the most devastating. C2, I got lucky it did not hit my spinal cord. But it's not from, if I would have been hit in a car going 5 miles per hour, I would not have broken my neck. The guy was going at a high rate of speed. A collision where you're just pushing each other, you may get, it's not going to, I doubt that it would be the catastrophic injury. It's the impact force that did my neck, which would be high rates of speed. These human bodies colliding with their heads down. And
exactly.
Stuff.
Now I try to divorce myself and look at things objectively. And you go, all right, well, I could see maybe you're at the bottom of a pile.
Yeah.
Like things could happen and limbs and all kinds of stuff.
Fumbles, there's piles. Things could happen at the bottom of a fumble pile. There's piles happen. It's the game.
It is part of the sport. Again, you can't convince me that this has nothing to do with just optics. I think Goodell goes,
I don't think
there's no drama because it's automatic.
Yeah,
it takes away the drama.
But it's automatic. Like I said, there's a Tom Brady quarterback sneak. Most sneaks are automatic. Josh Allen sneaks are mostly automatic.
Yes, yeah. But it's going away.
Yeah, and what also I heard someone saying, what also happens now, I don't think Howie's helping the cause. Peter Schrager was on Pat McAfee saying Howie's been pretty chesty, and basically he's been like, "Wah, you guys can't stop it." Wah, wah. I don't think that helps the cause. But what this does also, when it pushes it back to May, the coaches aren't there, the GMs aren't there. No, it's just owners, so it's up on Lurie alone, so all the owners can swarm him.
Yes.
Yeah. So they know what they're doing.
Of course,
these are manipulative rich billionaires.
Right. We're going to be in Minneapolis at some swangy place. You know,
Jeff's a good owner, but I don't know if he's going to stand up to 31 other guys or people.
Listen, I don't blame Howie. Like, because here's the thing. I would feel a little bit under siege too.
I understand, but when you're trying to lobby for votes, you can't be like that. Him and Nick are not great for lobbying for votes.
No. Listen. They're not. Nobody will could misconstrue them for lobbyists.
No,
I get it, but don't you also understand? Don't you also get that? Hey, how about it's unfair what you guys are doing. Like you're penalizing me because I'm good at it.
Yeah, they're not. It's for the safety. And here's what also, I think what also happens is in this lobby, and it's be like, there's other teams that want rule changes. You vote for this, we'll vote for that. You vote for this, we'll vote for that. All that stuff. It's all nonsense, shady behind the doors dealing from now till May. All because of a tush push.
Yes.
Or as Buffalo calls it, the snow plow. And that fraud McDermott, if he's so worried about safety, stop calling the play.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm that one. I have to text him. I like Sean. I've known Sean since he was a linebackers, defensive backs coach in 2000. I mean, I'm friendly. I love his dad. Rich is a great dude. His brother Timmy. I love the family. I love Sean. Mm-hmm. He's a great coach. I don't know what happened. I don't know why. I'm dying to find out.
He's a sore loser. I don't know. That's what he's coming off as.
But here's the thing. What's his motive?
I mean,
like, it's not even the same conference.
Because we play each other this year?
Nah.
I mean, like, I don't understand it.
It can't be a Chiefs thing because the Eagles destroyed the Chiefs.
Well, the Chiefs, you and I were talking. We're compiling enemies of the state. Big Red. He's a slick one.
No.
He's a slick one. Big Red. There's a whole medical side. If it's putting a player in a bad position, then you probably have to do something about it. But if it's not, then it's a heck of a play.
He is slick.
Yeah, because he'll be like, I got convinced it's a safety issue. Yeah. But he gives him credit.
Did you we had a few weeks ago, a month ago, wherever it was, we had Spags on, and Spags didn't have any issues with the Tush. I'm not going to complain about it. He said that's a league thing. I'm not complaining about it. They run it like you heard him say it.
Well, there's a clear division between the football guys and the football new guys, like the McVays and the LaFleurs. Those guys
you had the enemy. Let's do this.
We got some quotes.
We have the enemy of the state. All right. By the way, welcome back, Andrew.
Hello. Welcome. Glad to be back.
Hello. All right.
This is another disappointment. This is a long one. Mike Tomlin. This guy. First time I saw it, I couldn't believe that it was legal because it was illegal on the field goal. I guess you can't push the block. That being said, you hate to be against it because when people are innovative, you want to respect that. There's certainly been some teams that have been more innovative than the rest of us. We hate to penalize them for it, but we got into a discussion on the field goal block because of player safety, and so that still remains to be a component of this discussion. Mike Tomlin.
He also gave
fraud.
He also was the little Andy Reid.
Fraud.
He also
was.
He gave you the why. You hate to hate to penalize guys for innovation.
But safety. Give me one smidgen of safety issue, and I'm in on it. Raheem Morris. I don't want to push a human into another human submarine style. He believes this can potentially cause catastrophic injury. He may also believe the earth is flat. I mean, who knows? Just because he believes it doesn't mean it's going to happen. Sean McVay doesn't look like football to me. What I don't like is the optics of that play. Looks like a rugby scrum, and there are some health and safety. And there are some health and safety. These guys have been taught to say health and safety no matter what you say.
That's the straw argument. Like when you prop up the straw man, right? Straw man, you can't defeat the straw man because only a meathead would say, "The hell with player safety." Right?
Yeah.
Only a callous, right? A troglodyte.
Yes.
Would say
we know some. We know some.
Listen, we happen to be in the capital of the troglodytes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Matt LaFleur, when you look at the play, I would say, I don't think it's a great football play. It's more of a rugby play. Some of the injury concerns, we want to just kind of get out in front of that and be a little more proactive.
Dude, it's optics. They don't like the way it looks.
Yeah, they're telling the truth, and then they throw in the old...
they don't like the way it looks. I'm telling you.
And Schrager was the most honest on he was on ESPN. He's moved now from NFL Network to ESPN. It's gross. It's crap. It's not football. It's rugby.
Schrager. Get the hell out of here with Schrager.
He did
do
a
a
good
can't
piece.
say what Andrew said, but in the text chain, but I like it.
He did do a nice piece with McVay yesterday saying how the Tush Push is the greatest, most ideal play for Philadelphia, and all this concern about it because it's like, you guys aren't tough enough. It's like such a Philly thing that we can latch on to. And it's right, we're having fun with it. But the rest of the league's weak. Can't stop us.
They are weak.
Yeah,
they are weak. They're weaklings.
Yes,
and this is about. You know what? You're right. Tush Push Philadelphia. It started with the brotherly shove.
Yes, yeah, and they had to make it weird with the Tush Push.
I know.
Is that Romo? That sounds like a Romo moniker.
Yes.
I
always hated the Tush Push.
Yeah,
because it took away.
He's a tushy guy. He's a tush guy.
First of all, you should never say tushy, right? Like that's a horrible word. The tush. That's a horrible word. Brotherly shove was always
nice.
That was the name.
Yeah,
right.
That's a good one.
Brotherly shove. Like it was Philadelphia. It was a shove, not a push and a tush. Like
yeah, super weird.
Yeah.
Who I gotta ask if someone's got an AI account, find out who originally said the Tush Push.
I just looked it up. It said Anthony Barr from the Minnesota Vikings, the linebacker. He was the one who brought it up or made the name the Tush Push.
Really?
Yeah.
Anthony Barr. Wow. All right. Lots to get to today. I can't wait to go to the editor's desk today. Thanks to our man, the editor, Pat McClune's going to join us today. Usually on Thursdays, we asked him all this stuff going on. I'm dying to hear what he has to say. All right? Because nobody can read through stuff. He's a hard scrabble journalist, editor. Right? So I'm curious to see what Pat has to say about all this stuff.
So, yeah, he did use it mic'd up, that player, and
2018.
Romo heard it and used it soon after.
Yeah.
I thought it was Romo, too.
Used
When you
it in the
said
next
that,
game he did between the Bills and the Bengals. He brought up the Tush Push.
Yeah, I thought you said, let's go Romo.
I hate Romo.
Yes. I'm
I'm
with
glad
you.
he's as corny as a commentator as I thought he was as a player.
Yeah, uncool, Romo.
Yeah, so
uncool. Hey, let's talk about some of our friends, shall we? Like Timeline. Timeline Health Longevity Supplements featuring their proprietary MitoPure ingredient. I'm in love with this Timeline, all right? Because this is what happens. Timeline, all right, has the MitoPure. MitoPure works with the cells in your body to help reverse age-related decline. Now, the benefits include increased strength, energy, endurance. I'll tell you, I've been doing it now for a couple of weeks. I'm starting to feel good. My shoulder, I threw yesterday because Moss might need to emergency catch.
Oh.
Because our catcher, Liam, fractured his thumb. So, poor Liam. So, we wanted to, Moss might have to do some catching. So, yesterday, I worked out with him in the yard, and so I was pitching to him.
Yeah.
So, and working on him.
Does he have a mitt?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So, you got a couple on? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you come bopping in here now in the mornings. You look,
you
you got 30 shots of.
I felt good.
Yeah, nice.
I felt good. Hey, listen, this is what this does, Timeline, all right? We know the cells in our bodies are the building blocks of life, and Timeline is the supplements that works with those cells to help give you more energy, feel stronger during workouts, and preserve health and mobility as you start to age, all right? The MitoPure is a postbiotic nutrient that clears out dysfunctional mitochondria, aka your cell's battery packs. All right. So I know it's a lot of science, but let me tell you something. You feel it. All right. You really feel it. Right now, Timeline is giving you 10% off your order of MitoPure. Go to timeline.com/PHLY to get started. That's timeline.com/PHLY. All right, let's also talk about the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Final Four weekend is upon us. Baseball is in full. Phillies are back. Did you miss them yesterday?
Horrible yesterday without them. I
It
got
was
a good run of baseball though. The MLB Quad Box, MLB channel is awesome.
Oh yeah, the Quad Box is good.
Awesome.
Yeah, you're right. But you missed the Fightins, man. I was feeling them today. Fightins.
Yeah.
So you could do your same game parlay. You got the Final Four. I really like. The more I think about it, and I've been enjoying this Duke team. I think Houston's going to shock the world.
Oh, Brad convinced you?
Yeah.
Oh man.
The matchup. It's the matchup. I was thinking the matchup.
Oof.
The matchup.
I was hoping he'd be on Trash Man's side.
I think the matchup. I look at the matchups, and I think that's a thing. So, a million ways to play the tournament in the Final Four. We got the Masters coming up. It's all there on the Bet Park Sportsbook online casino app. Check it out. All right. Also, there's always another way to win, like live dealer blackjack and roulette and craps. All the hot online slots after your favorite TV shows like Squid Games and Peaky Blinders and the movies. All right. And then all the ones that you like.
They got a new one, Da Vinci Extreme, little diamonds in it. Oh.
The Da Vinci, they're creative. I'll give you that much.
I know, as a writer, I might want to get a gig just writing themes of slot machines.
Yeah, really. That's a good idea. BetParks.com has all the details. You got to be 21. You got to be in PA, New Jersey, Michigan, Maryland, Ohio. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right. Time now for the editor's desk.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
This just in, ladies and gentlemen, and all the ships at sea. It's time for headlines from the editor's desk with Pat McClune.
My man.
How are you, boys?
Hello, Mr. Editor.
Bit of a crisp day for baseball. I'm glad they didn't play at 3 in the morning. We were freezing over here in Hartranft.
What are you doing at 3 in the morning?
Huh? Sleeping. We're trying to.
You're the greatest, man. You really are. I got to talk to you about this, all right? This story, you would have had a field day with this story had this story been on your desk of the brotherly shove. I refuse to call it Tush Push.
You're right. The brotherly shove's much better. And it would figure that the funky term that Romo has something to do with it. But have I mentioned that I think he's the most overrated player in the history of all 4 sports? Anyway, one of the things that, if they banned it in the beginning of it, it wouldn't have bothered me. They were just making a call, but now we've got our collective backs up over this.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels like it's the league against Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's personal.
And if it was the Giants or God, first of all, if it were the Cowboys, they would be, some kind of congressional medal for their innovation or something like that. But since it's Philly, the other thing that bothers me, guys, is that where it's coming from. It's coming from the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, guys. Whatever happened to the black and blue division? I don't want anything coming out of the Packers or Bears or Vikings. If the Chargers or somebody put it up there, kind of a finesse team, okay. But the Packers ought to be embarrassed. I don't know how many of those offensive linemen are still with us. I don't think Fuzzy Thurston is, but Fuzzy Thurston and Jerry Kramer would be embarrassed about the Ice Bowl and bringing the lure of that they just lined up against the Cowboys. By the way, a real good Cowboys team. But they decided, the whole league championship was on the line. And I look at a cross against silver and blue. And you know what? Our guys are going to knock your guys over. And so the whole thing bothers me. And you're right about McDermott. You really need to get there with Sean McDermott. He's had a great career. I root for him. But we might have to get the LaSalle High School alumni after Sean on that thing. Come on, guys.
Hey, you're right. I'm looking at Fred Fuzzy Thurston, who left us in 2014. He would not be opposed to Tush or the brotherly shove at all. This guy, he's not complaining.
Well,
Thurston.
Isn't it interesting how I think the root cause is, and I'm curious what you think, but I think the root cause is they don't like Goodell doesn't like the optics. I think the teams don't like the fact that it's automatic for the Eagles. And I think Goodell thinks it's a boring play, taking the drama out of 3rd and 1, 4th and 1.
Yeah, probably. I mean, let's face it, Goodell's going to be on the wrong side of everything. So that's not helping. That's not helping any. I'm amazed the amount of money that guy gets paid for. Look, you can't argue with the success of the league, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of that guy either.
No, but just the way they're doing it too, like they table it, like it's dead,
right?
Like there's no chance
we don't
now.
Have it. Take your loss, take your 16-16 tie, which is a loss like a man, and come back next year. What are they doing behind the scenes between now and May to try to sneak it in or whatever?
And don't you like?
Hey, listen, if they ban it. Then maybe the Eagles will have to respond by Saquon breaking the NFL record for rushing touchdowns in a season.
Yes. You know the other thing that I don't like is that they trot out player safety, right? As the argument, the straw man, right? Like, because they go, I mean, are you really going to argue with player safety? Like, what's wrong with you? Are you a meathead? Are you a troglodyte? Like, know by propping that argument that it diffuses anything we have to say.
I can just see what's going to happen, too. They won't get it in May. The play will be there. And then one game in November, somebody's going to get hurt on the play, and they're going to be, oh, here we go. Well, the odds are somebody's going to get hurt on a screen pass. VG's points about the kickoffs right on the money. Somebody's going to get hurt going over the middle. Somebody's going to get hurt on an off tackle or a fly pattern. It's going to happen. So in the one time out of thousands, whatever, somebody gets hurt, the arms will get thrown up and everybody will be saying, oh, boy. So you can kind of just see it coming down. That's why the Eagles have to kind of, Philadelphia and Eagles have to defend this poor attempt of a league-wide tush push and just knock them back.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I just don't think it survives.
I think it's dead. I think
I don't either. I'm with you guys.
Here,
I don't think
Pat,
I don't think it'll be there. And if it was just in and out, it wouldn't bother me. But the fact that it's played on this long and people are getting on their high horse and all that, it just kind of gets your collective backup. And I think Philadelphia is going to be ticked off if it happens.
Pat, I got a clip I want to play for you real quick before you start. Your boy Romo.
Ah!
They did it the old-fashioned way. No pushing of the tushy.
No pushing of the tushy.
Just a normal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey,
He sounds very manly with that comment, I'll tell you.
I hate him. I hate him.
They did it the old-fashioned way. No pushing of the tushy.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
can't say tush.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yep.
All right, buddy. Without further ado, the headlines of the week. We begin with the Fighting Phillies.
Okay. And our headline for this is get a whiff of this. And I don't even have a Philly up there. Hopefully, Andrew's got, Rafael Devers.
I was going to make mention of this later.
I have nothing. I have nothing bad to say about the Phillies themselves, but I just wanted to make a point, and we'll talk about the Phils and the things I do like. But it really jumped out to me that I saw this stat that Rafael Devers has struck out 15 times in 19 attempts. And in 1995, Tony Gwynn struck out 15 times in 585 attempts. And when you combine that, guys, with the Phillies opener, where they struck out 19 times, and that was very much because of the shadows. Why these teams play 405 games for the opener is beyond me. The shadows used to just be a Wrigley Field thing. When we were growing up, you see the shadows at a Cubs game, but why they would do that is beyond me. So look, the Phillies have they played 4 games. They struck out 19, 5, 6, 5. It's not to make a point about the Phillies, although when they have that kind of game and Wheeler's dealing and they can't put the ball in play, it drives you crazy. But it made me wonder about strikeouts in the game. And I looked at the numbers, and they're really rising and rising and rising. Baseball expanded in 1998 when the Diamondbacks and someone else came in. And there were, across the league, there were 31,000 strikeouts. It topped off in 2019 at 42,822 strikeouts. So what's that mean? That means each team strikes out 1,400 times, and each team strikes out 9 times, 8.8, which averages out, because not every team has 9 at-bats, to at least 9 strikeouts a game. So now every 6 outs per inning are 2 strikeouts. I mean, everybody's swinging for the fences, and it's a different game. The knock on Justin Crawford, the center fielder, is he puts the ball in the ground too much. Now, I don't get excited about a guy grounding out the shortstop, and I sure as hell get excited about a Schwarbaum or Aaron Judge, but strikeouts are going a little wild in the game right now.
And you know what? It's too much. It's so uninteresting, right? Like, first of all, it's devalued. The strikeout used to be like, wow, got him the fan, right? Carlton. But when every pitcher is getting, 8, 9 strikeouts, it devalues it, especially when they're only going 5 innings.
Right.
Michael King last night.
I was just going to look up Michael King's stats. He had 11
He had
through
11
like 4
in 5 innings. Yeah.
I know it's outrageous. And in that opener, Mackenzie Gore looks like Sandy Koufax.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to. There'll be other times of the season if they're down or whatever to kind of have some things critical to say about the Phillies. But I'm not feeling Marsh against left-handed pitching. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm very much feeling Max Kepler. This guy looks like a fit. And he was sharp in spring training. We got 2 games, 2 homers out of him. And he looks like a nice bat, and he's made a nice transition to left field. So, things, loving how the Braves started. It's a shame that Profar is out for 80 games. I hate to see anything bad happen to the Braves.
And the postseason.
But, here we go. And Wheeler will be pitching again tonight, and Luzardo was great, and nothing's happened since we last talked to make me any less hopeful about the Phillies.
No, they may clinch by July.
Well, Manaya, he's got problems now. His oblique or something. He's on the out. Hey, since you brought up Rafael Devers, I was going to bring him up later. In his last 9 games, he's at 34 at-bats. 26 strikeouts, the most strikeouts in a 9-game stretch in MLB history.
26 of 34. Oh,
wow,
that's a breeze, man.
No,
he's like
dude.
he's like
struggling.
He's like one of those windmills that you see down the shore.
My poor mother would be saying, he's up there swinging at fresh air.
Oh, God bless her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, number 4.
Okay, let's go. Let's go evolving the game. And there's a couple things here, and the Tush Push was at the end, so we can or cannot talk about that. But our headline for evolving the game is torpedoes and chains. And there you go. There's the element.
I love that.
On the torpedo bat. Let's think about when we were little kids and somebody came over with that bat to play wiffle ball. He wasn't even allowed in the game. You had to play wiffle ball with that yellow bat that you got at the sporting goods that had the ball on the end of it in the little cone. And that's the way to do it. And somebody would bring that and it would get laughed out of the place. And he would also bring a wiffle ball that had no holes in it. It would just be a plastic thing. And so the torpedo bat, my first thought was that the Fugazi, as you guys would call it, fat wiffle ball bat,
That is awesome. That's so spot on. I didn't think of that. That is great. You're right.
Yeah, it's right up
that
there
was
with
the
Bobo
wiffle ball bat.
Yes. Yeah. Come on, man.
Come on,
Sure,
man.
you could hit the ball a long way with that thing, but you were swinging some nonsense, big, goofy red thing.
Right. It's the
Wiffle
Bobo
balls
bat.
made to be played with thin yellow bats, and hopefully baseballs made to be bat, But I give the guy credit, the whatever the MIT guy is.
Yeah.
But boy, I couldn't believe that after one big weekend of the Yankees, that everybody went tripping over each other. It's such a small sample. Hey, look, if somebody revolutionizes the game that it's had the bat or whatever, that'd be really cool. But my first thought went to the wiffle ball bat.
I love it. And you know what's funny? You brought up the Bobo wiffle ball. Like that.
Yes.
Only a wiffle ball. You can only play with a ball with holes in it. You can't play with that plastic. That thing was the worst.
Yeah, you can't get a good riser without the ball. You get that wiffle ball, you get the ball underneath it. You get a guy that's creative throwing the wiffle ball when he's 9 years old. You could stymie 15-year-olds if you really knew how to throw the wiffle ball back then.
Yeah.
And you're dead. You're a dead duck throwing that in there. This probably goes back even before you guys. The other thing you always played with was a pimple ball.
Yeah.
It was white, the pimple ball. And if somebody came around with like a light blue or pink colored hard ball, that was the Bobo of balls.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
get that out of here.
There was a couple. There was that blue ball and the pink one. And they were Bobos. Because we played a lot of half ball growing up, you know?
Absolutely. Oh, fine for half ball. Take that thing, get the knife, cut it. Let's use the wiffle ball for the real game.
Yes.
Hey, Pat, let me ask you, in Olney, did you guys ever cut the top off the wiffle ball bat and shove it like newspaper in it and play with like a pimple ball, play baseball that way?
Never
We,
did.
like,
They
cork the
said it
bats
out
and
of
play
a lot of
baseball
stop
with
to
it?
it.
Yeah.
Really? We use stick. We use the stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we use we get the wiffle ball bat, cut the end off, jam paper and newspaper in it, make it
All right.
solid, and then play with pimple
There
balls.
was nothing better
balls.
than the stick. You got a good stick. You got the tape around it, electric tape.
I hated the stick.
You hate the stick?
Yeah, I'm out
Oh,
on
the
the
stick was the best.
The stick
Like
is
Love the stick.
I need a
that
stick.
trained your eye because when you're hitting home
sure.
runs,
Yeah, with a
like
stick.
that was the original launch angle too, Pat. Because
Yes.
you're
yes.
trying to hit because it's side street in Philadelphia. Obviously, you need to swing with uppercut swing.
Oh, you were hitting against the wall.
Yeah. against
Oh,
people.
no. We were in a big street, like a long street. We'd play baseball
No,
on a
we
long
play up
street
a-
with
we play up a
the
little
cork
street.
bat. Yeah.
And we play up a little street.
Yeah,
and,
I get that with the stick ball.
And then
yeah,
and you would try to
yes.
you try
get
to
the third or
get
fourth
launch-
floor.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah, we
the
played in the
window-
schoolyard and you'd roof the ball all the time.
right.
And, you know, every now and then you get the janitor up on the roof and he'd throw down 400 balls and various other things that were there. It was a big day when a janitor came along.
There was a guy, Joey Mancini, Joey Scenics, and Scenics could scale the wall.
Oh,
It
yeah?
was unbelievable.
He's a climber?
Yes, he was unbelievable. He would go in the alley, right, and he would brace himself. I don't know how he was like Spider-Man.
Wow.
And he would climb.
Yeah.
Oh, like a crab claw, maybe?
Yeah, and he would go. And
The way
he
that
would
guy
go on the
escaped that
roof.
prison.
He would be on the roof, and it was the greatest because he would just throw all the balls down, and it was like raining half balls, and we get to play forever.
Oh, yeah, and then the basketball equivalent was there were these basketballs that were kind of balloonish or something, and boing, boing. Get out of here with that.
Yeah,
you know?
no good.
Every sport had, you got it, you know. We didn't have much back then, but, you know, you needed the basics.
You know what
Non-bobo
other
back-
ball I hated was the wiffle football.
No good.
That was
no good.
horrible.
No,
You have to whip.
I don't think I ever had
And
the
by the
wiffle
way,
ball.
that thing would kill you.
I don't think I
It,
had
it was
that.
cold. Your hands
Yeah.
catching that thing because it was hard plastic. Oh, I hated
Right.
that thing.
Yeah,
You can't have a football whistling by you. That's no good.
No.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
that's a great
But anyway, I
Yeah,
bring up
Nerf's
change
all
guys
over.
because we talked about this a few years ago. It looks like they're going to go to the laser on
first downs.
the change for first downs, right?
Yep.
And I got a kick out of the way it was phrased that they would do that. They'll keep the chain gang around, but they'll do first down on the laser, and the chain gang will be used in a secondary capacity, whatever that means.
Yeah, I
Really?
mean, if technology fails, if it gets hacked or something, they got the guys on the side, right?
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. You can still come to the game for free and wear the outfits, but
Possibly get
we
run
don't
over.
really need your services anymore. Yes.
I'm a fan of those guys. I wish they were sticking around. I mean,
Chain
I know
gang,
they're sticking
man.
around, but I wish they were the people. I like it.
Oh, Anthony was pro chain gang the whole way.
He's
Whole
on the
way.
chain gang. I've seen pictures of him holding the markers.
I gotta send it. I gotta send you guys I gotta get it to Andrew.
It's great, your chain gang picture. Yeah, man. I like when they got the refs got to mark it on the side on the chain. They got to run out together and hope they don't stray. I don't know. It's imperfect, but I like it.
And I'll tell you what I'm okay with on a limited basis is what they did in spring training with the balls and strikes.
Yeah.
And the reason I like it, and I like it more because I hate the replays in college basketball because they take forever.
Mm-hmm.
The beauty of the spring training balls and strikes, VG, was that they would top their head or whatever, and it was settled in a second.
Yeah, it felt like 2-3 seconds. Boom, you got an answer.
And more often than not, the player or pitcher were right. So they picked their spots. Yeah. And then there's a strategy to it. You got to be careful that you don't run yourself out of challenges into the ninth inning. So
yeah, I love it. I don't understand why it wasn't incorporated this year. It's not like they've been doing it in the minor leagues. They know the system works. I guess it's the union. The umpires union. Just I don't understand how they're so powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. They have been forever.
Yeah. Wild to me.
You know, the one of the other rules changes that I thought was a little odd is that they're going to allow somebody to reverse a face mask and say that's not a face mask. Well, the issue with that is just it's the opposite. It's nobody's saying somebody called a face mask and it wasn't.
Right.
The problem is when a quarterback gets his head yanked off in the backfield and everybody's looking at the quarterback but the officials and they miss it.
Yes.
If you're going to legislate that, you got to figure out a way to say, I think if a ref misses a face mask call that you throw that in there.
Yeah, how often is the face mask called and it's not? I mean, it's so rare.
Exactly.
I can't remember it happening. I mean, my memory's not great. It doesn't mean it doesn't happen often, but I don't remember it happening.
Yeah. And I'm good with the OT rule. And, you know, so the Packers put out a goofy thing for the league. And I'm proud of the Eagles. The thing they put out there, that was just competitive football. That you can't win a game now because you won the coin toss.
Yes.
And you walk the field and score. That's only right.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Eagles. All right. Give me number 3.
Moving on.
The dawn of civilization.
Okay, the dawn of civilization. This is on Dawn Staley. And I've had that in my things to talk about for weeks for the right time.
Look at that.
Job.
Look at Dawn.
Oh, yeah.
My assignment was get me a photo of Dawn Staley looking like it's Philly. And there you go. And that's Jaws she's going with there, I got to think, right?
Yeah.
That's
either that or Michael
Polish
Vick.
title on Dawn Staley.
Yeah. It's either that or Vic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It could be Mike Vick. Yeah. Maybe more her time. Yeah. But first of all, Dawn's only 54. And I know this is out there, but I was kind of thinking about this. I'm not so sure that from the dawn of civilization, and civilization started with sports and Philadelphia history. That's when things got civilized. I'm not sure you can make an argument that there's ever been a bigger sports figure in Philadelphia than Dawn Staley. Not on, you know, it just doesn't pales in comparison to some of the other sports, but the only two I could even think about putting up against her, and I might be missing somebody very obvious, are Wilt and Kobe. You know, I'll fight anybody over Wilt, but Dawn's resume is a joke. She's going for her 4th national title. She might not get it. Bet Parks has South Carolina as the second favorite at 225. Gino Auriemma is back at it. And Paige Becker is at there minus 161. But Dawn's unbelievable. She's in the Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. She played on 3 Olympic, has 3 Olympic gold medals as a player.
Wow.
I remember she carried the flag for the United States at the parade one year. At Virginia, she led the broken NCAA record for steals, led them in points, led the ACC in assists, and she's going on her 4th title. At Temple, women's basketball was never better than when Dawn was there, and she just 3-time coach of the year.
2-time Naismith Player of the Year.
Yes, it's an incredible body, of work.
Yeah, you're right.
But,
when you think about
that,
4-time Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. I mean, if you trot the right-hand side of her Wikipedia page, when I thought about putting up, it's wild. It just goes on, and it's 4 times.
Her career highlight. I'm looking at it now.
Times.
Her highlights and awards is nuts.
And the thing about it, VG, you just go down and down, and it gets.
I was like, "Where are the gold medals?" I was like, "Oh, they're all the way down here."
Look at that.
You got to scroll down.
That's as long as your arm.
Yeah,
crazy.
it's really, really impressive. And I've been waiting, just like I was waiting, and I used Ovechkin, who, by the way, is only 3 away. I've always had on my thing, like things that on a given time to talk about. And I've had Dawn Staley for weeks. And here she is again in the Final Four. And I just thought it was something we should talk about.
I love it. That's great. That's why you're the editor.
Yeah, well, some good things got thrown out this week. Number 6, by the way, real quick, was Philly. Philadelphia Catholic League. Danny Day will tell you. They win it. West Catholic in 3A, Devon Prep in 4A, Newman Goretti in 5A, and they had to win in 6A because it was Judge against Roman. And, just like in football, where St. Joe's Prep wins the state and doesn't even win their division in the regular season, here you have 4 state champs, and none of them came in higher than 3rd place. St. Joe's Prep was 1st, Roman was 2nd in the regular season, and you have 4 state champs behind it. So I'll push that Catholic League any time I get a chance.
I love it. Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So we get. Go ahead, Anthony.
No. Go.
Okay. We are down to 2. We are down to high school basketball and April Fools.
Well, you talking about college? Are you doing the college basketball?
No, I'm sorry. We're down to NCAA Final Four or April Fools.
Yeah, save April Fools because I love this. All right.
Okay. For the Final Four, our headline is only one number 1 will be number 1.
Yeah.
And here you have the 4 top seeds. And I can't put Cooper Flag up every week. This guy Broom's been really good.
Johnny. Do for Johnny.
Not a Pearl fan, but, boy, he's got athletes. Boy, I like this player. There's not too many teams if anybody could even think about banging with him down low. I was watching the one game that I guess I kept thinking, when are you going to double? When are you going to double? And they're good. And this is a terrific Final Four. I know you've loved this tournament. It's been a good tournament. I could have used a little more. I could have used somebody coming from out of the woodwork like a Drake, and I could have used maybe a couple more tight games, but it's been at times really good basketball, and these 4 teams deserve to be there. And ironically, the team I picked in the beginning, Florida, I think 3 of the 4 teams are playing championship basketball. And the one who's not is Florida. I got to stick with them, but you can make a case for any one of these 4 teams, guys.
Yeah. We were talking about it. I don't know how you line up on Houston Duke, but I think it's a bad matchup for Duke. I think Houston, the way they defend, is going to give Duke problems, and I don't think people are seeing it.
Yeah, I see. I see I'm going to stick with Florida, and at this point, I had a Florida Tennessee final. Now I'm thinking Florida Duke. You make a great point about Houston. That's a really good thing. I remember Houston. Houston ran that nice inbounds play to keep themselves alive against Purdue.
Yeah,
that's the one game that they look shaky. And what was ironic about that is I think I texted you about how you never leave the inbounds pass unguarded. But that wasn't on Matt Painter. That really, really good point guard, Braden Smith, was on the ball, and he took off and stayed a nice enough play to, get it there, We used to run a really good inbounds play like that with my kids' grade school teams. As Coach T. Coogan, it would be the guy that would inbounds, you would throw it out to the elbow, and then the guy who inbounds would go in the corner, and there'd never be anyone near him. Wide open 3. And it was the same principle for Kelvin Sampson there.
Yeah.
But
we ran a similar one where the kid who inbounds comes in diagonally toward the basket and just kind of gets lost, and then rushes back to the corner, and he's wide open because he gets lost.
There you go. That'll bail St. Margaret's out someday. Yeah.
All right. You got to do this one. This one is awesome.
Okay. All right. Now, I didn't hit it right on the money, and it's kind of fortuitous that I got moved up a day because it's one day removed from April Fool's. And so I wanted to do something a little different. We talked about stuff with the draft the next few weeks. The headline for this is a fool's paradise because there he goes, and he found him in a Sixers uniform. Not easy, Andrew. Very good. That is Andrew Bynum, who is the poster child for all the fools who have come through the 4 teams. And we have had a plethora of fools in this town. And Andrew Bynum, for people who don't remember, the Sixers were in a trade. They wound up giving up Andre Iguodala. And this guy came in, and he was the all-time bust. I don't think he ever played a game for it.
How about you have to explain something to me. Why did Doug Collins say pray for Andrew Bynum?
I remember that distinctly, and I honestly don't remember why. I don't remember why. I think, Doug was on board when it happened, and Doug really knows the game. I don't know. That's a question for Doug, and I would bet you get Doug on here. Get Doug on here to talk colleges, and you could slip that one into him.
Yeah.
But boy, that's a great memory, Anthony. I don't recall exactly what happened. But if you could, and you guys might have some, why don't we look at all 4 teams and the fools over the years? No shortage of fools.
So
let's stick with Sixers, and you might have a few. But I'll throw these out there.
For Sixers?
Yes. Oh, my God.
There's a
plethora
of fools, of Sixer
There's no
fools.
fooling around with all the fools we have. Markelle Fultz, first-rate fool. And some of these are guys that it was unfortunate because the Phillies got fooled that the guy was damaged goods.
Right.
I'll go back to a guy named Jeff Rulin, who was a really good player. And the bone on bone, and they didn't know it, and he was not even he was a shadow of his former self.
Do you remember
Ben Simmons made a couple all-star teams, but he's consummate fool.
The consummate. He's the number 1 fool. Is Ben Simmons. We were all fooled by him. I was.
Yes.
And listen, he wasn't bad. Like he had a lot of promise, man. He had ability.
And those stupid summer videos of him shooting threes, it was just foolish.
Yeah.
By all means. And here we go. So we have Bynum, Fultz, Simmons. I remember a guy named Charles Shackelford who was a fool because Barkley made a fool of him. He was the guy that Barkley always pointed at. He just didn't think he had what it took. He was a big guy with a big body that drove Barkley crazy. But here, I can't say this about any of the other franchises. I will put at the top of the fool heap this entire organization this year. Stone cold fool.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
From top to bottom. I'm looking back. We talked about Dawn Staley and putting her in there. I don't think there's been a more disgraceful display at any level of any pro team than the 2024-25 Sixers.
Yeah.
We just don't want anything to do with them. And let's hope our club comes back somehow, but can't even talk about them. Ultimate fool.
I'm with you. You know, football fools, the dream team. That was filled with fools. Namdi was the number 1. We got fooled by Namdi.
Great call. Namdi's right there. Let's go to our football fools. Namdi.
Eat lunch in the parking lot in his car.
Yes. Back then, 5 years, $60 million. And they thought, wow, they really saw something there. And oh my God, the guy's been very successful as an actor. He finally found his calling, and his calling was not playing cornerback for the Philadelphia Eagles.
No.
I'll tell you that. Namdi. I've got a great one. It's funny that you get, of the four, the hockey's my weak point, and we'll get to it. But in using it to make a point, I reached out to some friends about this thing about fools for some Flyers help, and they backed up the two that I said.
CG?
Talked to my old friends, the brothers, Mike and Pat Frayne, and we started going down this rabbit hole of fools, and we were texting, and we were just losing it. And they brought up the ultimate one, and I have a great example of a real fool. And it's only 10 years ago, and I don't remember the guy well. And you will never forget these guys, Anthony. Do you remember Kerry Williams with the Eagles?
Yo, yeah. Kerry Williams. Yeah. Sconces.
Well, anyway, somebody said
he's
the sconces.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're so right. Sconces. Well, I forget this guy's sconces. And you know what was the greatest thing about it in trying to do my homework about it? Guess what I called up? I called up a USA Today story on Kerry Williams written by our great friend Mike Garofalo. And it was unbelievable. Quoting Mike Stewart. Now, for people who don't know, the Eagles signed Kerry Williams to a significant contract to come in, and he kept being a no-show at the OTAs. And he didn't, when they asked him about it, he didn't shy away. He kept talking about it. And, no one would deny on the one he said, what am I, you're going to write about these guys that have children, with all these different women. I'm just trying to be a good father. I went to my daughter's recital. Okay, fine. That's your one. But then after that, he missed it for a dental appointment. And then he missed it. And what he was quoted in Mike's story was, I didn't want it to sound like it's disrespect. I just had to make sure my sconces, my wood was picked out, my fireplace. And that's why the guy didn't show up at OTAs. Right into the Hall of Fools. There you go. You're a fool, my friend. You're a fool. Sconces. Come on.
Yep. That's where I learned what a sconce was.
Yeah, same with me, man.
Well, when I read it the first time, I thought he was talking about scones.
Right.
And he needed to get a scone out of the oven.
Scones.
Yeah, that dream team. I'm looking now, man. That's a fool's team altogether. With
It's
Juan
fool's
Castillo
paradise.
as defensive coordinator.
Yes.
Jason Babin, Ronnie Brown, Vince Young.
Yes. I'll give
called
you
it.
an old
Oh
fool.
my God, Vince Young's on the list, VG, without a doubt. Danny Watkins and Vince Young are on my fool list.
Yeah.
I got an old fool.
Fireman, he just might come up in subsequent things when we do the top 10 busts of the draft.
Oh yeah.
And then,
How about I got one for you? How about that Ron Solt?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
he was
man.
a steroid fool.
Yes,
Oh, I remember we had to edit that stuff really closely because you had to put out stuff and you had to be accurate about your accusations of Solt. But he was an alleged steroid fool back in the day.
I mean, he turned into a raisin when he was here.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. He shrank in the sun, and he would have looked like a fool trying to block in this day and age. And then within the last months, Devin White.
Yes.
Fool.
Yeah.
Go up, get the money. That's foolish. We can't have that. Okay.
So when I think of Ron Solt, I think of a Philly. Who do I think of?
Oh,
there's got to be a Philly that had
catcher?
a ED problem, right?
Tigers catcher, Lance Parrish.
It's Paris.
Bam.
He's on the list.
Brain cells are working.
That's going way back, Lance Parrish. I remember being in the office. I was still in the copy desk, and we were like, the Phillies got Lance Parrish.
Yes.
That's unbelievable. He just won the World Series. He's the best catcher in baseball. Came to the Phillies, fool. He actually made the All-Star team his second year, and I thought, well, I don't know if I can go Lance Parrish. So good for you guys bringing him up. But he made the All-Star team. He hit 215. That had to be a dark Philly squad that year.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. All right.
And I hope this current fool makes a fool of me, and I'll be happy as could be. But I hate to say it, Taijuan Walker is on the Phillies fool list at the moment.
Yeah.
At the moment. Let's see what happens there.
I mean, don't
And then
really
other
coming out on a
Phillies
ledge there,
fools-
Pat. Come on.
What's that?
I think it's pretty
Yeah,
safe to
right.
say he's a fool.
Okay. Yeah, it's just trying to hedge things here.
Yeah, I hear
don't
you.
want to be too heavy-handed.
The
Another Phillies fool, Danny Tartable.
yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's more famous for being in a Seinfeld episode than he is for what he did with the Phillies.
That's right.
Comes to the Phillies, grounds a ball off his toe, 7 at bats. Him and his toe never played again.
That's right. Danny Tartable. Oh my God.
And then one last guy, they thought they were getting a big pitcher named Freddie Garcia. Big, strong guy.
White Sox.
Paid him big money. Wound up going 1-5 with a 5.90 ERA. And then he was sent out. He was fool's gold is what he was. He was fool's gold.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Great stuff, my
And
brother.
then Flyers, we got Nolan Patrick, the second pick in the draft.
Oh, total
Nolan
fool.
Patrick is 25 years old. He's out of hockey.
Wow, that's amazing.
And they picked him with a second pick. And then Ilya Brizgalov.
Russian fool.
Chris Gratton.
Gratton. Gratton's a good one.
Yep, Gratton is there. Brizgalov, quote, I will try to find peace in my soul to play in this city. That's not going to do it. Now, from what I can tell, you have Maxwell Murphy's father in the bullpen.
That's right.
Yeah.
Maxwell
Yes.
Murphy, baby.
Maxwell Murphy. There you go.
Isn't that great?
Well, I can't compare to him. So there we go.
Well, wait. You are the editor. All right. We all follow you. Listen, David, who's a very gifted writer, myself, Zach Berman. When Pat McClune's name's up, you're the true boss of the staff.
There you go. I just, everybody, I just roll along with all the good people underneath me. I think you can ask Dave's first appearance. He came in to interview on Christmas holiday, so I rolled in to interview him at the bar, and I think I had sweats on, and he was thinking, boy, this guy might be a little different, But
Hey, bring him up. Bring him up, Andrew. Let's get Maxwell Murphy's dad up here, the fine columnist, new to fatherhood. There he is. What do you say,
Hey.
Dad?
I know it still sounds weird.
It's unbelievable,
you don't
isn't it?
look sleepy deprived. I'm proud of you. You don't look sleepy.
I am honored to be following the great Pat McClune.
Tell me about the interview when Pat interviewed you and he had his sweats on.
It was probably the day after Christmas or thereabouts, and I was at the time working at the St. Petersburg Times in Florida covering high school sports. So this was like my one trip home. I was making entry-level money and could only afford one flight home a year. And Pat said, hey, why don't we get together, if you're going to be in town around Christmas. Josh Barnett, who's Pat's workhorse underling, assistant sports editor, or assistant to the sports editor, I don't know which one, shows up in a very proper guy, shows up in a suit with a briefcase and an overcoat and is, looking very stern. And then 5 minutes later, Pat rolls in wearing, Marshall sweatpants and a fleece, I think it was, and immediately orders a Corona. And it's like 11 in the morning. And I was like, man, this is the guy. This is the guy.
That's the greatest.
And Anthony, we hired him to cover the Phillies in his first season on the beat, 2008.
Yep.
You were the good luck charm, dude. That was
Good year to start.
Pressure was on, and he did a fabulous job, and he covered it all the way through the World Series.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic.
Thank you, Pat.
Yep. All right, boys.
All right, brother. You're the best.
Okay.
See you,
Take
Pat.
care.
See you. Love
Good
you,
luck.
buddy. Here he is.
Congratulations, Gabe. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, Pat.
Okay.
Maxwell, baby. Maxwell.
Yeah. He's downstairs sleeping right now.
Won't be
It's a
quiet.
strong name, Max Murphy.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
It's a great name.
Strong.
Is there nothing like holding that child for the first time? It is.
Yeah, I mean, that whole experience was just the whole experience is there's absolutely nothing like it. Totally the most insane thing, the most insane experience I've ever had in my life, and yeah, it's totally amazing. You can't prepare for it or even really put it into words.
Have you gotten the car seat down?
You know what? It's funny. So we delivered at Hup, and we were there 3 days, I think. And we finally get out, and we'd spent the previous 48 hours in a room that was meant for maybe one person. It's hot. It's like you're in a casino with a baby that you have to take care of. It's just you're totally disoriented. So we finally get out, and this car seat we have I forget the Duma, I think it's called. It's a car seat that turns into a stroller. It's actually quite ingenious, but there's a lot of moving parts, bells and whistles. So I've been scared of this thing, ever since we put it in the car for the first time and did the test run. So we get out. We got out at like 9 o'clock. We're at Hup at like 34th and Spruce. Get Max is all bundled up and in the stroller, and we're carrying duffel bags and pillows and stuff, and get to the car, put the pillows in the car, go to get Max and turn the stroller into a car seat, and can't do it. I'm pushing on it, I'm yanking it, then Rebecca does it, and she can't get it, and finally we finally somehow just pushing and pulling it random. We finally get oh no, she calls her sister is what happened, because her sister is the one who bought the car seat for her. So we FaceTime her sister, and she talks us through it on the street there. Finally get the poor kid in the car. Turn around, and there's a there's a dude sitting on the curb laughing at us. just sitting there with, I don't know if he was panhandling or what, but he's just sitting there laughing at us. And we gave him a nod and drove away.
Dude, I had the nurse help me. I couldn't figure it out. And I tried.
There's no run through? There's no practice run throughs with a doll?
I thought I had it. I didn't have it. And the nurse helped me. And then how slow did you go on the drive home?
You know what? It's funny because I didn't have that at all. I was more, the driving was like the first thing in 9 months that I actually had control over, so I wasn't nervous at all. I was careful, obviously, but I really didn't have that. I was curious if I would, but I really didn't have that, to me, the drive home was the least fraught part of the whole experience.
No, it's funny. We lived in the city, so I'm driving.
You go like 5 miles per hour.
Yeah, I usually do the slide through the stop sign.
Yeah.
Then no slide. Stop. Like, look.
I'd be behind, like, let's go.
Now, if Rebecca was driving, I would have been nervous as anything.
Well, congratulations, my brother. God bless you.
Yeah, no, there's that scene in Knocked Up. Remember Knocked Up where what's his name is driving 5 miles an hour on the way home from the hospital. And all my friends had the same exact thing. But I wasn't, I think I was just so like, I felt it was legitimately the first time in like 72 hours that I felt in control of something. So I think that helped,
God bless. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And I'll say this, you can't, the nurses and doctors are just, absolute saints all across the country. It's amazing what they do for what they did for us, what they do for everybody. I can't imagine my career being working with screaming babies on the night shift, but they helped us so much. You have no idea what you're doing. They just give you this thing, and they don't make you take a class or give you an instruction manual. And the nurses were really, they were awesome.
Yeah. It's they do God's work, brother. Truly,
Mm-hmm.
truly. God bless you and Rebecca, and it's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful
Dude,
time.
it's great. It's unlike anything. Yeah, obviously, it's unlike anything I've ever done before. It's our first. But yeah, it's been, I described it the other day to somebody as the last week has just been one long day in like 3-hour increments.
Yeah.
So you're just totally disoriented right now. It's starting to normalize a little bit, but I texted all my friends, most of them have had kids, 5-6 years now, and I texted them and apologized for not understanding at the time what they were going through and how difficult it was. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's difficult. It's difficult in a good way. You appreciate it, but it's totally like, it's like nothing. I mean, these newborns they're just completely helpless.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's something, man.
Dude,
And
it's awesome.
The next thing you know, you close your eyes and they're bigger than you.
Yep. And that's what I'm just trying to be mindful through the whole experience and kind of keep that in mind where, you got to appreciate every moment,
every
especially
stage.
early on because they change so fast,
Yeah, every stage. I would, the way they smell, I mean, I would go back tomorrow and and I changed all the day. I loved it.
Well, yeah, you know what? We'll put you on the list and give you a day to come over and babysit young Max.
I love it. I love it. Love it. I miss that stage. My brother, a couple things as one of the key voices in town. I have to ask you about the brotherly shove because they're going to get rid of it. It's obvious that they're just trying to get enough votes to get rid of it, and Roger Goodell is going to make it his business to make it go away.
So here's my thing. I was actually thinking about this randomly when I was in Wawa because I'm, again, totally disoriented, and you just find yourself staring off into space thinking about random things at random times. And I decided yesterday as I was waiting for my coffee at Wawa, that you know what, it probably should be banned. Now let me say this. I think the whole uproar about it, the process of banning it, the fact that people care enough to ban it, is ridiculous. It's totally cheap, and it's totally honestly. My prediction is I don't think it's going to have an impact whatsoever. I think the shove is incidental to play. I think that they have a quarterback who squats at 800 pounds, and they have the best interior offensive line in the game, and I think that alone will be enough to. I mean, I think I looked 4th and 1. They converted at 85% clip last year. Which was it was only 8th in the NFL. I think it's going to stay there. I don't think the shove has much to do with it at all. That being said, theoretically, it was always a rule that you could not push or pull players until I don't know when. I remember how many times did I watch an offensive lineman push a running back into the end zone and have it called back down at the 1 because you can't do that.
No, but that changed in 2004.
Right. But I think there's a reason why that rule was in place. And it is, it's you don't want, look, I think what it could lead to logically is kind of a mutually assured destruction thing where, if you got all the, I've always wondered why defenses don't do the reverse tush push where you put a defensive tackle or linebacker behind the nose tackle and push that guy into the pile. It just kind of leads to the situation where everyone's, kind of sacrificing their bodies, for this 1 yard. And it would just be easier just to say, look, you can't push people,
Well, the problem is the force. You would need more.
Yeah.
And then if you're from a defensive standpoint, then you're going to be vulnerable to, you can just fake and get out of it. And
that's fair. But look, I know this. At some point, someone's going to get hurt on the play, whether or not it has to do with the actual play. The odds are, just in football, people get hurt. And if somebody ends up, getting hurt, it's going to be banned then anyway.
Yeah, but let's debate this a little bit because
Mhm.
it's football, right? Like you get hurt on a myriad of plays, right? So far, there hasn't been any injuries, right? So far, now I grant you the data isn't a vast vat of it, but any football play, you're going to get hurt. I think this whole thing comes that they don't find it interesting.
I agree. And I think it's so I'm like kind of walking because I was always on the side of this is ridiculous. Don't ban it. Everyone's just sore losers. But I have no problem. When I didn't realize that the pushing got lifted in 2004 until the Eagles started running this play. Because it never happens really. So it never really comes up, and I had forgotten that you could push people. All it is pushing. I mean, I don't know. It seems like an easy thing to take out of the game. You can't push somebody. There's a reason why the rule was in place to begin with. And I think there's if you think about it, like if you were sitting down to write the rules of football from the start, and the question came up, should you be allowed to push somebody? Then I think the answer the argument would be no. It makes more sense not to have that as a rule. But I think it's kind of crap the way they're doing it,
Yeah, I mean,
it's definitely because of the Eagles, and it's definitely, sore loser type mentality for the reason why this play is getting banned. But theoretically, yeah, I think you shouldn't be able to push people.
I mean, I kind of agree with you. I don't love the pushing, but you can't do it now. It just
Right.
The optics of the play stink, but the optics of this looks ridiculous as
I
well.
agree. That's exactly, you said it better than I said it. That's exactly where I feel. Like, yeah, it probably should be banned, but you can't, like, doing it now just makes it look ridiculous.
Yeah, right off the Super Bowl. It's like,
Yep.
you can't do that. I don't know.
I'm with you. They hate Philly. We can still stick to that. But yeah, probably it shouldn't happen. You shouldn't be allowed to do it.
What are you thinking about the Phils?
I think it's all going to come down to the rotation. If Luzardo looks like he did his first time out, and Sanchez looks like he did and has for the last year and a half, and Wheeler stays healthy, I think it's going to be very hard for them not to win 95 plus games. Because they're that good, especially if Alvarado, if this sticks, this kind of resurgence of this sticks. And then I think the lineup is the lineup. Like, look, they're not going to. All these guys are the same guys. You can't. Leopard doesn't change its spots. They are who they are. The one big question, I guess, is two big questions: is can Bryson Stott kind of be at least a functional hitter?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't necessarily need to be the guy he was the first 2 months last year, but can he be just the league average hitter and give you some sort of production at the bottom of the order? And then Kepler, what can you, he's had some hot streaks before. He just hasn't stayed healthy. He hasn't, he's in a new environment. He's somebody who could break right. But I think all in all, I think the lineup's going to be, what we've seen so far and what we've seen for the last 5 years, feast or famine,
Yeah.
And the only thing that can change that again is a Bryson Stott kind of breakout or maybe Max Kepler.
It sounds like I don't think you're alone with we'll see if Chris Sanchez can keep it up. I feel like he's there. Don't we know who he is at this point?
I mean,
he seems good.
When you're scraping 97, 98, I mean, that tells me you're legitimate.
Oh, I didn't mean to lump him with it's more of a Luzardo thing, I would say. I think frankly what Sanchez has done is kind of he's allowed every season for the last 2 or 3 years. The big question was, can Aaron Nola, hang on, because he's kind of been. I love Aaron Nola, and I think he even at his worst, he still at least gives you what you need out of one spot in your rotation. But the question before this year was always, like they need Nola to be Nola, even though he's looked like he's fraying at the edges at times late in the season. And I think Sanchez's emergence has taken that off of him, where Nola, even if he's only, pitching like a number 4 kind of innings eater starter, you can live with that when you've got Sanchez, kind of penciled in there. And I do agree with you. I think he is for real. Luzardo is the bigger question. Luzardo and Suarez, I guess, are the bigger questions. With Suarez, it's mostly can he stay healthy?
Right. Right.
And really, it's kind of the same thing with Luzardo. Can he stay healthy? If both of those guys give you 150, 160 innings this year, yeah, I think that it's going to be very hard for them to not at least finish as a strong wild card.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you look at the rest of the division. The Braves keep getting hit, dinged. They, off to a horrible start. And, I don't like the Mets. I didn't like the Mets a little bit to start. I thought that they're a half a mirage. They have a half a lineup.
Dude, listen to this stat I got about the Braves right now. I just saw like a little while. The Braves are batting 137.
Yeah.
That's a team low.
And
that's a team low over any span of 6 games since the 1942 Boston Braves. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's bad.
They are in bad shape right now.
But the flip side is they've done this before, and the Braves, they're just always there at the end. Last year was, they had every injury known to man last year, and they were still technically there at the end. Now the Lopez injury hurts them, obviously, but they also have. Strider is coming back way ahead of schedule. He's looking. At least the reports are, he's looking like the same guy just about. And they'll hit. Look, Matt Olson's going to hit. Acuna's coming back. Now, if Acuna, if he doesn't come back or that knee is still kind of,
he's coming back off 2 knee injuries.
Yeah,
yeah.
Which takes a lot out of his game too.
Yeah, he's not going to steal 50 bases.
Right.
I wouldn't think.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not ready to write them off. I think that they've struggled.
It's a long season. I would agree. I'm sorry. You were about to talk about the Mets. I don't like them. You like them?
I did coming into the season, but the Manaea injury. My whole thing was I thought the Manaea that we saw in the playoffs last year was the real guy. I think he really kind of changed himself and was going to give them a legitimate kind of 175, 180, 200 inning guy shutdown arm at the top of that rotation. And in that ballpark, you can get by with a subpar pitching staff. I just think that lineup, especially with them re-signing Alonso late, I think that lineup's for real. I think Lindor's for real. I think Soto's for real. I think Vientos is for real. So yeah, I think that they're going to be.
I think they have half a lineup. Like I'm with you.
Yeah.
Obviously Lindor, Soto, Alonso, and I like Vientos too. But I was never a big Nimmo fan. Winker.
No.
They don't have a catcher.
They're more annoying than they are good.
Yeah.
Nimmo and Winker.
Yeah.
Well, they're like the anti-Braves. You do kind of have to go into it assuming they're just going to end up Metsing. Like they
Metsing.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's all they do. That's why last year's. Their run last year was so unbelievable because it was totally out of character for them. So, yeah, I think you have to count on one of those 2 teams being good. But yeah, I think right now, if you were to rewrite the division odds, obviously have the Phillies there. I think everything is broken right for them since the offseason with regards to the Mets and Braves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My brother, listen, what are you going to be doing? What's your schedule now?
Well, we got a PD. You mean my professional schedule? I don't know yet.
Actually, I meant both.
Well, we got a big pediatrician appointment today, so we're going to see if the big guys put on a couple ounces. We've been trying to pack on the weight. It's just a normal thing, I guess. Babies lose, X amount of pounds in the week after. So he gained an ounce last time. We're looking for a couple ounces this time, and but beyond that, I'm going to take a couple more weeks off and then get back to it.
I got to tell you, the pediatrician, we have a great pediatrician. You got to love your doctor. We to this day, Dr. Catherine Zalway. I love this woman. I love her. She was one time. Anthony had yellow fever.
What? Really?
Yes. He was. I don't know.
Sounds terrible.
3.
I didn't know yellow fever still existed.
Right. Yeah. Or scarlet fever. It was scarlet fever. Yeah. Forgive me, right? I didn't know. It was a Saturday night. And the poor kid's burning up. He's got a rash, right? I'm like beside myself. I grab him. I'm, going to the hospitals and, emergency rooms. I got him like this. Dr. Zolecki's on the phone with her. Take him here. Oh my God. They're like the lifeblood for you, dude.
Oh, I can't, dude. I've been like, look, I can't wait for, excuse me. I cannot wait for 2 p.m. just to be like, all right, he's back in front of a professional. Tell us.
Yeah.
We're doing okay.
Because you're just constantly living in fear,
Oh, yeah. Hold the head. Always make sure you hold the head up,
Yeah, it's too much for me.
Oh, yeah. No, dude.
I can't handle that.
No,
I have anxiety.
No, dude. It's no joke.
Nah, dude.
It's no joke.
I admire your courage.
God bless you, brother. Proud of you, man. You did it.
Thank you. Back to it.
Go to it.
Congrats, man.
Give the baby a kiss. See you, brother. There he is. David Murphy. New dad. How great's that?
Yeah. He'll be a good dad. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Fantastic. All right, let's talk some of our friends, shall we? And then we get to talk to Todd Zolecki.
Yeah.
I love Todd.
Another good baseball mind.
Yeah, great baseball man. Let's talk about getting back to what you love, right? If you're a weekend warrior, right? I know you are because we love sports here, or you're trying to keep up with the kids like me, all right? Like yesterday, throwing, all right? Every day something. Football, baseball, basketball, right? You know how tough it is when your body doesn't cooperate. And that's where Rothman Orthopedics comes in. So whether it's pain from playing your favorite sport, an old injury, or just age catching up to you, Rothman's team of experts is here to help. And they do it with evidence-based care and a mission to restore your mobility. All right? They're going to get you back on your feet and, more importantly, back to doing what you love. This is why Rothman's incredible. All right? Don't let pain hold you back. Visit RothmanOrtho.com/PHLY to schedule your appointment today and get back to being your best self. Listen, I had an Achilles issue because I tore my other one, and then my right one started acting up. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go get surgery. Dr. Pedowitz, no. We're going to treat it. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. They used a nitroglycerin pack to stimulate on my Achilles.
You stick it on your heel or your back? Yeah.
To stimulate blood flow. Because normally people do it with heart issues, right? To stimulate the blood. They put it on my Achilles. And next thing you know, it healed.
Wow.
Yeah. Incredible stuff. All right. Uncle Frank sees Dr. Pedowitz.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. No, he's walking around again. He'll be shooting hoops soon. Rothman Orthopedics, where getting you back to your game is their mission. All right. Let's also talk about Parks Casino. So yesterday, while you were out, buddy, we did our Parks read, and the bot's not a singer.
No.
Did he try?
Nah, he was thinking about it, but you could see he was runnerish, but he didn't do it. You, my man, are ham.
Yeah.
You will do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Here we go. You ready? Parks Casino, they have it all. Action, excitement, headline entertainment. Sunday, April 6th at the Liberty Bell Beer Garden. It's Cosmos with Candace Bushnell. She created Sex and the City. She wrote the book. So it's an evening of laughs, chats, and more with the author of Sex and the City.
Yeah, a little gossip. Be fun.
You'd be perfect for that.
I'm good with that, man.
I can see
him
VG
there
with all the ladies.
Man.
Having a nice
Talking
Cosmo with
Sex
the
and the
ladies.
City.
Yeah, like Mr. Big. I might put a blazer on, hang out with the ladies.
There you go.
Plus, you got thousands of hot slots, state-of-the-art sportsbook, beautiful poker room, all-weather beer garden, and a collection of award-winning restaurants. Parks Casino, this is how you win. Pennsylvania's #1 casino. Tickets on sale now for these headliners. April 11th, the Isley Brothers.
This old heart of mine's been broke 1,000 times.
Each time you break away.
April 12th, comedians Chad Daniels and Kelsey Cook from Pretend Problems Podcast. April 16th, psychic Matt Frazier.
Feeling an L like a Liam or a Lance.
April 26th, comedian Gary Owen. May 30th, country artist Ashley McBryde.
Oh, Ashley McBryde. Let's see here. Never wanted to be that girl.
Ooh, there you go.
May 16th, Larry the Cable Guy.
Get her in.
And so this is interesting. We have the psychic Matt Frazier and the comedian, the medium, Long Island medium Teresa Caputo.
Yeah.
Frazier Caputo.
That's wild.
That's
wild.
Crazy.
That's insane. Go figure. June 27th, comedian Trevor Wallace. July 12th, comedian Mark Norman. Don't forget dinner and drinks before the show at the Liberty Bell Gastro Pub and Beer Garden, Parks Grill, Steakhouse, Bamboo, Noodle House, Chickies and Pete's, ParksCasino.com to buy tickets for all shows. Parks Casino, this is how you win. You're going to be 21, gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And don't forget, this Friday, Warrant with Firehouse, little She's My Cherry Pie. And why don't we get this listed? July 18th, Friday. KC and the Sunshine Band. Right, that's our wheelhouse. That's the way, I like it. That's the way,
He just had to do it. I love it.
Dude, I love me some KC and the Sunshine Band. Yeah, you don't?
No.
Get out of here, dude. That's good music.
Is it?
Yes. Get down tonight. Get down. Come on. Boogie shoes they got? Come on, man. I'm your boogeyman? Dude, that's great stuff.
I'm your boogeyman.
Yeah,
I'm your
dude,
boogeyman.
KC and the Sunshine
Turn
got
me
a bunch
on.
of bangers. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yes.
Oh, my God. All right. This portion of the show is brought to you by Rite Aid, RiteAid.com for the store and pharmacy nearest you. All right. We have our man. Can't wait to talk to this guy. Back up north. True baseball man.
Mm-hmm.
All right. This poor guy's been running around. When you spend all spring in spring training and you come back up, there's a million things you got to do.
I'm sure.
You know, so he needed
Especially
the
if you got
off
a
day
partner
yesterday.
and a family. Yeah,
He needed the off day yesterday.
He always looks good. His mic's always crisp and clear.
Yeah, he's got the baseball cards.
Yeah, he's got it together.
MLB.com, the great Todd Zolecki. Todd.
How you guys doing?
What's up, buddy? How's it feel being home?
Feels good to be home. Feels good to sleep in my own bed every once in a while, you know? It's been a hot minute.
The life of a baseball scribe.
Yeah, man.
I tell you, when you get home after spring training, you're like, oh my God. Because it's great. And people go, oh, it's great. And it's fun. Like, you know, but after a while, you're like, I want to be home. Right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's only so many times you can have a grouper sandwich and, you know, go to Frenchie's. You know what I mean? It's after a while, you just want to go home and like make something on the grill or have some home cooking and sleep in your own bed.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the club, because I got to tell you, I mean, I think there's a reason to feel great about it. There's so many things to like. Obviously, we'll start with the pitching because Luzardo looks sensational. Sanchez looks sensational. You got Wheeler and Nola. I mean, their rotation is nasty.
Yeah, it really is. Luzardo had such a great debut, I thought, on Saturday in D.C., striking out 11, showing off a new pitch. The sweeper's brand new, and it was kind of cool to see because he threw a ton of them on Saturday. And I remember his first Grapefruit League start at the end of February, and he threw 2 in that game. And we were asking him about it, and he was kind of like, listen, this isn't even a confirmed pitch, guys. I'm just trying to fiddle with some stuff. Maybe I'll throw it in the season. Don't really know for sure. And like I said, I think he, you know, I can't remember the number, but he threw a ton. It was over 20, I think, or something. And, you know, got 5 strikeouts on the sweeper, got 5 strikeouts on the slider. His velo was way up. It was like 96.9. And last season, it was like in the 95-ish area before he went down with the back injury. So a lot of good things to see there. You know, Nola gave up 2 home runs. He's going to do that. Kind of lives on the edge with the fastball command. He's got to locate his fastball. But yeah, Sanchez, same thing. I think, you know, he was kind of a guy in spring training, you heard a lot of people say could be a Cy Young candidate. And he was one of my kind of bold predictions of to finish his top 5 for Cy Young. So, you know, the rotation has been really good, and it should get better whenever Ranger Suarez rejoins it. And then this summer when Andrew Painter joins it.
Yeah, you know, and you think, I mean, I know there were some shadows in Washington, but, you know, his stuff looked legit. Lazar's stuff looks real to me.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, like, this is kind of, it was funny a lot in the spring, and I heard a lot from fans, like, they're running it back. They're running it back. I'm not excited. And the players got asked a lot about it. You know, you guys are kind of running it back again. And what makes you guys think? And I think they were kind of, they kind of shrugged off those questions almost, because they're like, I don't know if you guys understand how good Jesus Luzardo can be when he's healthy. And, you know, if you have a really strong rotation 1 through 5, which they think they are when Rangers back and healthy, they think they can have, they'll have a chance to win almost every game. And so I think, yeah, they're running it back with the core, but internally in that clubhouse, they were really excited about Jesus Luzardo, and obviously they were excited with what they saw in the spring with Max Kepler as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and then you look at the bullpen, Alvarado. Wow, he looks unhittable.
He looks unhittable. I think he's very motivated. Coming off the season he had last year, and contract stuff coming up this year, and you know, I looked it up at the end of spring, and he had thrown like, I don't know, 30, 40 pitches at 100 miles an hour, something crazy. And it was like the second most of any pitcher in baseball all spring. So he was bringing it from the very beginning of spring. He's, you know, obviously he's, you know, then he kind of introduced a little curveball. He might show every once in a while. He probably doesn't even really need it, to be honest with you. No. But he kind of wants to make sure that he kind of rebounds from last year. I don't think he was happy with how he pitched last year. Came into camp in great shape, and obviously he came out guns firing. So, you know, good signs from him for sure. Kerkering, I thought, has pitched pretty well, and he's shown some good stuff. Strom, for not having pitched really at all spring, he's kind of acquitted himself pretty well. And Romano has struggled in his debut. I think there was a little bit of nerves there. So if he can get settled in, he was throwing the ball a lot better the other day.
Yeah,
you know,
I thought he looked good.
High 60s, high 96s. You know, that's encouraging.
Now the lineup, it feels like the lineup feels like the same lineup. Now Kepler, I like Kepler. I think Kepler I liked him with Minnesota. He's got some pop. I mean, he's legitimate. But you know, outside of your guys, you're again lefty dominant. Will Turner be back tomorrow? Tonight, I mean.
Tonight, yeah, he should be back tonight. So yeah, just the simple fact that he pinch hit on Monday makes me think that he'll be in there. And honestly, like even before the game, Trey was coming off the field. He took ground balls, and I just asked him real quick. I said, "How do you feel?" He says, "I feel really good." I said, "What do you think for Wednesday?" He says, "It depends what the manager says, but I'm going to tell him I'm ready to go." So I would expect Trey to be in there tonight.
So can this lineup change itself a little bit? Can it, see, the problem again is you're running into Marsh, Stott, right? And the lefty part of it kills them. And then their MO is their MO, right? Like, you see how they win on Monday. Finally wake up, Schwarber, and then the bomb between Kepler and Castellanos.
Yeah, that's I think kind of I don't know if you can say the wild card about this team, or the X factor about this team is the offense kind of deliver when it matters most. And I understand the concern about the offense, you know, just the way they performed the final few games of the NLCS in 2023 and the whole NLDS in 2024. They need to be a lot better. They know they need to be a lot better. You know, Trey on opening day hit leadoff, and I think he was 0 for 4 with a walk. But what was interesting is that he saw a ton of pitches. I think he saw 28 pitches on opening day. And I know people say, "Oh, who cares?"
No,
you didn't get a hit, but
yeah,
that means something. It means maybe he was taking a little bit of a different approach on a day when nobody could see the ball through the first 6-7 innings. And I know, and that's another thing that people say, like, I don't want to hear about the shadows, but
it's real.
It's real. It's real that Zack Wheeler was like, I don't know if you remember the quotes or read the quotes, but he said, "I was trying to get in and out of my innings as quickly as possible so I could get back out there, so I could take advantage of the shadows, because I know those guys couldn't see anything at the plate." So, but Trey somehow saw a lot of pitches, And I think he saw 14 pitches and 2 at-bats against Mackenzie Gore. And he helped kind of get him out of the game. You know, he helped get him out of the game after 6 innings. And then they finally struck on the Nationals bullpen in the 7th. So I do want to see more Trey Turner in the leadoff spot. I kind of want to see what he can do. And I think Rob is going to kind of continue to alternate Schwarber and Turner depending on if it's a right-handed starter or left-handed starter. But I think they can be better. You know, I think they can be better. If Max Kepler is Max Kepler and Bryson Stott is healthier, I think the lineup is a lot deeper. You know, if Max Kepler is kind of can kind of get back to form, and he's hitting 6th, he'll probably hit no higher than 6 or 5th or 6th all season. That's a pretty good guy to have in the bottom half of your lineup.
Yeah, no, it definitely lengthens the lineup. Again, the only issue with me, and it was the issue going into it, which is you're so lefty dominant.
Sure. And that is true. And that was why it was kind of surprising actually in the offseason when they signed Max Kepler. I still remember that night when the reports started circling, started catching wind of the Phillies signed an outfielder. You know, my mind immediately went to what right-handed hitting outfielders would sign a 1-year deal. You know, you just thought that they were going to go in that direction. But, you know, hey, maybe Max Kepler is going to hit lefties this season and hit 30 home runs. Who knows? But you're right. I mean, at the bottom of the lineup with Stott and Marsh, they need to produce against those guys. And that's why they're going to see if Marsh can actually do it. I think they're going to give him some run earlier in the season. I can't remember what game it was. It might have been Sunday. There was a situation where Marsh hit late in the game and he struck out. It might have been actually opening day. And it's like, well, could he have hit Rojas there? Could he have hit somebody else in that spot? But I think they want to give Marsh opportunities to go out and face left-handed pitching in all situations. High leverage, early in the game, late in the game. Give him a real opportunity to say, okay, either you can do this or you can't do this. And, you know, he obviously feels that he can.
The Phillies have cut down on the strikeouts. I was just looking today. They're 25th in MLB in strikeouts right now. Dodgers are 4th.
Which is wild because they struck out 19 times on opening day.
Yeah, they've really cut it down in the last few games. Do you think that's more of a are they changed their approach, or are they just playing bad pitching?
Well, yeah, that's a great question. It's kind of like the torpedo bats. You know, is it the bat or is it the Brewers pitching? I think that they have made a real concerted effort to try to cut down their swings and chase less and be more patient with their approach. You know, guys like Stott, you know, he's talked about just seeing the ball better and letting the ball get deeper and not jumping at things. And so I think there's maybe a little bit combination of both. I mean, certainly the Nationals and the Rockies don't have great pitching, although Marquez I thought was really good in the home opener against them. So we'll see. This weekend's gonna be a good test when they have the Dodgers in town. You know, they have some good pitching, so we'll see what they can do. But
I think today's a good test. I mean, they struggle against Freeland. He's a guile pitcher. He does not fast. He's got a bunch of junk. I think his league average is like a 17% strikeout ratio, but the current Phillies, they strike out 38% of the time traditionally against him historically. So I think today will be a good test. There you go.
So that would be that. I didn't even know that. So that will be a good test to see how he can kind of how they can handle him.
Yeah, there's not.
It'll be good too because Turner will be back in the leadoff spot too.
Yeah, I was looking. Casty is the best hitter. He's bat 268 against Freeland in 14 at bats. Harper's 217 and 23 at bats. Trey 212 and 33 at bats.
212, really?
Yeah, 33 at bats, and everyone else is under 200 against Freeland. So he's a crafty guy.
So there you go. Yeah. That's a great test for him then. We'll see.
Yeah, it should be.
Wow. Yeah, it's going to be, it'll be interesting. You brought up the torpedo bats. Anybody on the Phillies looking at them, eyeing them up?
Bohm used one on Monday, and he joked after the game. He said it didn't work because I didn't hit a home run, but he did get a hit off of it. And I said, you know, what made you want to use it? He said, well, why wouldn't you want to try it if it's available? And I understand why he said that, but it was funny because talking to Bryson Stott, I think he's going to he had a couple delivered. Maybe he'll debut him. He doesn't know if it's going to benefit him because Stott kind of hits the ball all over the bat, you know, off the end and off the handle, and you know, he'll get jammed sometimes, and he's not totally convinced that it's something that'll work for him because, you know, again, if you're hitting the ball all over the bat, you want you don't want to concentrate it in just one area, which is that meaty part, which is what makes gives a torpedo bat that look.
And Bones,
I don't know.
Bones
I don't know
a
how
guy
many
with a
guys-
lot of play coverage. That's why I was shocked that he went with it, because he's a guy that uses a lot of the bat.
Yeah. So even I'll be curious to see if he continues to use it. He kind of dismissed it. I think he was just kind of goofing around in a sense on Monday after the game. He was like, oh, it didn't work. I didn't homer, but, and that was kind of the talking to Kevin Long, the hitting coach, on Monday. I talked to Kyle Schwarber about it. And is it going to be a gimmick? I don't know. I mean, maybe not, now these guys can go into these hitting labs and they have all these wires hooked up to them, and they can really they take hundreds of swings and they get a sense of where they're hitting the bat most often. So if Alec Boehm has figured out that actually I hit the ball on the barrel most of the time, or in that section of the bat most of the time, maybe he'll stick with it and maybe it'll become a real thing. But, think about over the years, he had the big knobbed bat, you had that axe handle that, hitters used back, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago or whatever. The bat designs are kind of changing. So I don't know if it's gimmicky. As Kevin Long said, I think it was the ballpark at Yankee Stadium. It's a huge home run ballpark. It was probably the Brewers pitching. Matt Gelb at The Athletic, he showed me something, a tweet the other day. The Yankees over the weekend against the Brewers saw like 140 fastballs, like 92 or under. And it was like 40 more than any other team in baseball over the weekend. So like they saw a lot of like low velocity fastballs against the Brewers pitching. And they also probably threw a lot of those pitches right over the heart of the plate. So it's probably pitching, it's probably location, it's probably ballpark, it's probably wind factor, and it's the fact that the Yankees have some pretty good hitters as well. So I can't wait to kind of see where it is, by the end of the season, if it's still a thing and more guys are using it, or if it's kind of like going to die out.
I think it's kind of, if you profile where you hit the ball more on the label, it would make sense. And that's where, I guess, for Chisholm, it works because he hits the ball in that spot. Like, I think if after you talk about those hitting labs and the smart bats and everything, they'll tell you where you hit it. So if that's kind of where you're at, it would make sense to me. But not everybody, it's not going to work for everybody.
Yeah, and that was kind of Stott's thing, is he's like, I hit the ball on the end and I hit the ball off the handle. I get jammed sometimes. And so do I want to give up those flares over the shortstop's head, or, whatever it might be, that maybe I'll lose a few hits that way. So I think it's really going to be interesting to see again, like how some of those guys feel about that. If you're like a Bryson Stott guy, maybe you try it and you're like, I feel like I lost a couple of hits here, and he goes back to the old bats. I'll be curious to see if Bryce Harper's a Victus guy. Victus, of course, in King of Prussia, and I'm sure he's going to have a couple delivered to him, and be curious to see if he brings one into the game.
I know. I was wondering if Bryce was going to do that. He'll have a torpedo bat with a skinny Joey cheesesteak.
That's right. Bryce is always, Bryce will use different people's bats, and obviously he uses his own bats, but he's very kind of like per at bat, he'll change his stance, go batting gloves, no batting gloves, go with his bat, go with the teammate's bat, might run out and grab a torpedo bat if he has a bat at bat. So I could see him definitely taking one in the game at some point.
Totally. Hey, last thing, the rest of the division off to a slow start. The Braves, obviously. And then they got hit, man. I mean, Lopez, that's a big deal, right? Profar
with the 80-game suspension. Woo. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I got to think the Braves are going to pull out of this, and this is just like a horrific start for them, right? I mean, they are really talented. They have a talented lineup. So that is really surprised me, but you're right. The division has been kind of a slow start. I mean, I don't think the Marlins are going to be any good. The Nationals be a little bit better, but I said at the beginning of camp, and I said at the end of camp, I think the Phillies still have the best team in the division. I know the Mets beat them in the postseason last year, but to me, that doesn't mean that they're the best team over 162 game season. I still think that this is the Phillies division to lose. I think they have the best talent, and we just at the very beginning of this show, we talked about why, and that to me, it's a big part is the rotation is being so good.
Totally.
Hey, Todd, yesterday I was watching MLB Network, and I thought I heard, but I'm not certain. I tried to do the research. I couldn't find it with my research skills, but I thought someone mentioned the Braves are ranked 24th in runs scored since like June of last year. Does that sound possible
really?
to you?
Yeah.
All the injuries. I mean, they lose Acuna. They lost Albies.
They lost Riley and Albies, and Olsen was down for a while. So that actually would not surprise me. And they didn't have Acuna all last year either. That would not surprise me. That's you know what? I'm going to go look that up after we're off here and see if that's actually true.
Yeah. I mean, look at their outfielders, Kalanick. Like they look at their team. That team wasn't after they lost everybody.
Yeah.
You know, Duvall came down, or what's his name? Ozuna came down to earth. You know.
Oh yeah.
So
who is the only winless team? Atlanta.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, you could have bet $1 million on any team to be winless at this point. You would have not picked the Braves.
Exactly. Exactly.
No way.
My brother, we love you, man. Thank you so much, man. It's always great talking to you. We love you.
No problem, man. Anytime.
Thanks, buddy. The great Todd Zolecki. Todd.
Such a solid baseball man.
Yeah, he's a great. I love talking ball with him.
Yeah.
We're very blessed to have our circle of guests that are really, really good. Talk about some of our friends, shall we?
Yeah.
How about we do it?
How we do
How
that?
we do it? Let's talk about Golden Nugget Jewelers, 8th and Chestnut, in the heart of Jewelers Row in Center City. Golden Nugget Jewelers, where Philly gets engaged. Tell people all the time about your own, all right? Because springtime, love in the air. Maybe you met that special somebody and you're going, all right, now I got to get the ring. Like you saw our man David Murphy, right? He's on the next stage, the baby stage.
He's got to get a Mother's Day. You better text him, let him know he needs a Mother's Day gift by
from
May,
Maxwell,
whatever.
by the way.
Yes.
Right? But also, and there's a baby ring. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you get. The baby gift, you need a jeweler.
Like a pinky ring for the baby?
No. For mom.
Oh.
Like they get a baby gift, right? Like there's all kinds of stuff. Baby pinky ring.
That'd be sweet.
They'd probably swallow it. That's a choking hazard.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Thank you, man, Freeze. That's good. You always need a jeweler, man. All right? From the minute you meet that special somebody, you get engaged, through all the holidays and everything else, let Golden Nugget Jewelers be your jeweler, right? Your go-to jeweler. Jeweler for life. Always got great deals going on. He'll take care of you. If you're looking for an engagement ring, he'll walk you through the whole process. That's your own. Golden Nugget Jewelers, right in the heart of Jewelers Road, Center City. All right, goldennuggetjewelers.com, where Philly gets engaged.
And we got our friends over at Empire Today. So listen, there's home repairs. Don't do it yourself if you're not 100% skilled. I was replacing the guts on my toilet last night at like 9:30, and I was not happy. I wish Empire Today did toilets, but they don't. They do flooring. And just like your favorite team needs a home court, field, or ice advantage, yeah, your home needs a home floor advantage. And Empire Today can get you help getting started. Empire Today is flooring experts, dedicated flooring professionals who focus on flooring every single day. Not like the big box stores, and I was there yesterday walking up and down the aisles overwhelmed. You wander aimlessly, and then somehow you're getting all this stuff home and you don't know what to do with it. Well, Empire Today handles all that. They don't have just a flooring department. They don't have a flooring department where like the person working there may have been working plumbing the day before. These people, all they do all the time is flooring. They are flooring experts. They live and breathe flooring. They got experts who can bring their showroom right to your house. So they take a picture of your living room or your kitchen or wherever you're doing the flooring, and they put in a couple flooring choices, and they have your furniture and your house right there, so you can see how it looks. You don't have to worry about visualizing and if it won't match certain things. So with Empire Today, you get clear, upfront, all-inclusive pricing, plus you can schedule installation as soon as the next day. So schedule a free in-home estimate today because some of the things are just better at home. PHLY listeners can receive $350 discount when using the promo code PHLY. Yep, you heard it. $350 discount with the code PHLY. Restrictions do apply, and visit EmpireToday/PHLY for full details.
All right, there you go, baby.
Today.
All right. It's overtime.
Overtime.
OT, OT, OT. Hey, so today is the day, National Autism Day, the fight against autism.
All right.
All right. And if you've listened to my show in the past when I was on radio,
I have occasionally.
I think you have once or twice.
Yep.
Do you remember my man, Benny?
Yes.
Ben.
Yes.
All right. Ben is the ambassador for autism.
Yep.
In the fight against autism for the Eagles. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And my man, Ben, who is just tremendous, is on the line.
Oh, heck yeah.
How about it?
Hey, cuz,
Yeah.
how are you?
Benny!
Benny.
Hey, how are you, my man?
Look at you, buddy. Get the beard.
Oh, nice beard.
You
I
look good,
love
buddy.
it. I love it. How you doing?
Good, pal. Tell me through the. Listen, nobody's a bigger Eagle fan
I know.
than Ben. All right,
Yes.
Ben from Montgomeryville. All right.
Yes.
You look fancy. Your setup's great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
pro. Is he a
amazing. Me and my
podcaster?
brother actually stream on Tuesday nights called Atypical Gamers, and he does a great job. So I want to give a shout out to my brother.
Oh, that's
Oh,
fantastic, buddy.
Hey.
So
Yeah.
tell what was it like the Eagles Super Bowl run for you?
It was great, you know. I really wanted to go to the Super Bowl, but I was really disappointed I didn't get to go. But I watched it at home. I had my friends Matt and Noah over, and we just watched it, and we had a great time. They're both on the Spectrum as well, so it's pretty fun.
Ah, that's awesome, man. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You have done such tireless work in the fight against autism. You have been
Yes.
the ambassador for the Eagles, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey Lurie, in fact, that's near and dear to his heart.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
God bless you. Tell us about today and what today means.
So today is World Autism Day. It just means that we want to show awareness and acceptance for everybody with autism, and I love just bringing inclusion and kindness all together. And you know, I do public speaking now, cuz I spoke to over 400 schools today. I had an assembly today at Downingtown Middle School.
Whoa.
Shout out to them. And honestly, if you want more information, visit my website, benergy1.com. It's the best place to look for resources and website. And then my mom wrote a book called Swinging from the Chandelier. When I was 3, I was stimming on the lights on the chandelier. My mom said, "Oh boy, if I ever write a book, that's the name of my title." I like the Eagles autism back there that you have on your set.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I just noticed that.
You see that, buddy? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Listen, you've always been one of my the one thing I love the most about doing radio for all those years was meeting all the people, all the listeners.
You're a great people person.
I love the people. Well, because the people they're kind to me. So and Ben, you meet so many great people and you just fall in love with everyone. And Ben was like one of the originals. Man, I love every time I'd see you on the line, I got excited. Oh, there's my boy. And you would come on and you got a great spirit, buddy.
You got to come hear my presentation sometime. I'd love to invite you sometime to hear it. And listen, I just want to say thank you for what you guys do. You guys mean a lot to me. Eagles Autism was started by Jeff Lurie. And I just want to give a huge shout out to Ryan Hammond and Kiki over at Eagles Autism. They do such an incredible job every day. And I just am thankful for what they do for the neurodiverse game day staff.
Well, we're proud of you.
Wait, Benny, I just popped on your site. You were on Price is Right?
Yes, I was.
Man, my man, nice. That's great.
Yeah, I
What
would
is
be a guy named
personality?
Oscar.
Yeah.
So I went to California by myself and I said 1,002. And he was so mad at me, but I won 16 grand and bought a car. I did that trip by myself.
Oh, man, that's a killer.
Isn't that awesome?
Yes.
Isn't that fantastic?
And I got to carry the trophy for the Eagles, and I was a guest on the Ellen Show.
Oh, sweet.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
He's a natural. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's a natural. You are.
You know what? You know who needs to do shout outs for autism next, cuz?
Who's that, buddy?
I think Pat McAfee needs to do a shout out today.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
We got to get you on there.
Yes. Pat McAfee, if you're listening, do something for World Autism Day today.
Amen, brother. You are. All right. What's the Eagles' record going to be?
We're going to go. We're going. You ready for this?
Yeah.
We're going undefeated this year, back to back.
I love it.
Repeat.
Repeat. Yes, sir. E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
You're the man, Ben. We love you, buddy.
Thank you.
See you, pal.
See you later.
Here he
Oh,
is.
man, that's great.
Ben from Montgomeryville.
That's good stuff.
What a spirit that kid has.
Yeah.
Man. I love him. I absolutely love him. All right, Frage.
Can I run something by you?
Please.
There's a new, the Iron Pigs doing a promo, a little dedication to Philadelphia. They're changing their names and logo for a day, the Iron Pigs. Calling themselves the Tomato Pie, the Lehigh Valley Tomato Pie.
Oh, my God. That's great.
You can they got all kinds of gear on their site right now.
Sauce, crust, Parmesan.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The hat with
That's
the piece of
actually
tomato pie.
awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's
right?
a great idea.
Yeah, it's an ode to the Philly special.
That's a great idea. I love that's a great
I may get some tomato pie gear, I think.
Dude, that's awesome. That's actually fun.
Pretty cool, man. It's fun.
Yeah, I like
it's
that.
definitely fun. All right, we'll go back in the day.
Let's go back in the day.
All right. We're going back. We're going back. We're going back in the day with Rite Aid. Yeah! So I've been watching and looking at a lot of golf with the Masters coming up. Some algorithms would kick me, all kinds of stuff. So I never knew that Sam Snead used to golf croquet style, and they banned it because he had so much control over the putter.
Wow.
So I guess you could not. There must be a rule. Look how low his hand is.
Oh, wow. Yeah, let me see. Look at that. Wow, that's nuts.
Yeah.
It looks like it's like a child playing miniature golf.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going between his legs.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts.
It's a forward stroke.
I never saw that.
I've never
I didn't know
seen it
Sam
before.
Snead did that.
Yeah, and the croquet style banned from
Wow,
golf.
it's like the Tush Push.
yeah, tushy pushy.
We got to catalog all the things that got banned.
Dude, you need to ban. I wanted to tell it to you yesterday. The other night after opening day, I ordered a pizza. And I was out of my mind when I ordered this pizza. You know, if you do the herbal, you get cravings. This is the craft your own I ordered.
Yeah, that does happen.
You ready for this? Classic tomato sauce, Parm Romano sauce, garlic butter drizzle, basil, fresh mozz, grilled onion, pineapple, banana pepper, buffalo drizzle, Kalamata olives, and a ranch drizzle.
Oh, too many drizzles.
Dude, and it was delicious. I devoured
And the
that.
pineapple and the drizzles?
A little bit of sweet with a little bit of heat.
Oh. Where was
It
this
was-
at?
That you have completely lost your Italian privilege.
Was this Papa John's, Domino's?
Nah, dude, it's a place in Center City.
Listen.
I was a Good Dog hanging out later.
Listen,
near Good
you
Dog.
completely lost your Paisan
Where did I
privileges.
lose it, man? With the banana pepper? Or the buffalo drizzle? Or the ranch drizzle? Or the garlic butter drizzle?
The pineapple.
That's horrible.
Oh.
In Naples, he would be hanged in effigy.
Slop.
Dude, I've been into that. I was like, oh my God. It just bursting with flavor.
No
and
wonder you were
satisfaction.
fixing your toilet the other night.
God forbid. That's a horrible piece. Did you take a picture of it?
Nah, dude, I had the munchies so bad I was starving. I had to devour it. No picture.
Oh my God, that's heinous.
It's a classic way to finish off opening
Okay,
day.
listen, I'm all down for the 3 a.m. pizza
Yeah.
or whatever time you got
It's
it.
like midnight.
Midnight pie, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
down.
yeah.
But you just can't get pepperoni. You got to get all that crap on it.
4 drizzles, pineapple,
First of all,
parm
max
crust.
drizzle.
First of all, the violation is a drizzle.
Yeah.
There's
Man,
no-
good
there's no
drizzle,
rain
good
on
drizzle,
pizza.
good drizzle on the pie.
No. There's no drizzle on the pizza. All right? let alone ranch. Then he got the pineapple.
Yeah, the ranch.
It's just horrid.
That sounds gross. Ranch
Horrible.
with pineapple.
First of all,
Drizzle's like the chef's kiss.
I'm anti that place just for offering that. For making that, that's a violation.
It's delicious.
That's horrible. All right, that's going to do it for us.
I'm going down tonight.
Go down tonight?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Love it. Love it. All right. Enjoy, Frage. Good job, buddy. Everybody have a great day. We love you. Go Phil.
Go Phils.
We all silly like the mayor.